Situations like these really stress out my autism. So I'm about to take an overnight bus. I'm currently in Boca del Toro and I'm going to Panama City. This is gonna be like a 12-hour overnight bus ride. And the bus ride isn't the problem. I've done overnight buses before. The problem is I've been given no information about what the bus is going to be like. I don't have any information, then I don't know how to properly accommodate myself, what to pack, what to wear, what things I need to be aware of. You know, like, is there going to be AC blaring on the bus and I should maybe wear warmer clothes? Or is there no AC and I should be wearing like a t-shirt and shorts? Or what about bathrooms? Like, should I be depriving myself of water right now so that I don't have to pee if there's no bathroom on the bus for like 10 hours? Stuff like this I really need to know. But I'm on a small island in Panama. There's a language barrier. I booked this ticket through like a family-owned restaurant. Like, it's not like they have a website, so I'm not gonna get any details. I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm gonna try my best to properly accommodate myself based off of what I think is going to happen. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this and just share one of the common struggles that I have as an autistic person while traveling. Travel with me from Boca del Toro to Panama City. It's about a 12-hour journey and it starts with a boat and then a shuttle and then an overnight bus. I bought the combo ticket for the boat, the shuttle, and the overnight bus here. All right, and we're off on the boat. Oh, and they have the taxi waiting for us right off the boat. All right, nice. All right, that was a little hectic, but we made it. We did the bus and the transfer, and now we are getting on the bus. All right, so the bus isn't worst case scenario, but it's not best case scenario. The seats recline a little bit, but they're not like beds, which kind of sucks. All right, it's like 8 o'clock. We're making a dinner stop. It's a little after midnight, and we made another stop. I think that was the last stop of the night, so I'm gonna try to get some sleep. It is currently 5 a.m. and I just made it to Panama City and I'm now waiting for my Uber. I forgot to record after this, but I did make it to my hostel.
Well, I think life is precious because you can't watch it again. But once you realise you're not going to be around forever, I think that's what makes life so magical.
Growing up undiagnosed autistic in the early 2000s, when TV shows and movies made bullying out to be a caricature of someone who beats people up, steals their lunch money, shoves you into lockers, and very publicly humiliates you, while at the same time that not being the reality with the rise of technology and like cyberbullying, was wild. Because I already had social deficits and did not understand what was going on, which made me a very easy target, but I also didn't know what to look out for when it came to bullying. Bullying was changing. And so I experienced a lot of like, on the milder end, like middle school bullying with like people very publicly posting that they're hanging out with people when they canceled plans with you, like stupid stuff like that. But I didn't register it as bullying because I thought unless you were being physically harmed, nothing was happening. But I was also autistic and gullible, so when people made very obvious lies to cancel plans with me on purpose, to be mean to me so that they could hang out with other people and like post about it, I believed their lies. I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand this as a form of bullying, and so I stayed friends with these people. I didn't know the difference between like a friend and a bully. Like those lines were very, very blurry. As an autistic person that travels a lot, I don't usually use disability accommodations in airports, but I did for the first time recently and it went horribly. I usually don't use accommodations in airports simply because I don't usually need them, but there was an exception. I was at a layover, I think I was in Colombia, and I was super overstimulated, and I was like, you know what, if there's a point where I'm ever gonna use disability services, like now should be that point. So I got into the disability line. And then I think the security workers thought that I was trying to skip like the long line and like cut through by getting in the disability line, and they started yelling at me in Spanish. And I was thinking, oh great, the first time I actually need to use the disability services, they think I'm faking. And I was so overstimulated at that point that like English words weren't really coming out of my mouth, but I needed to say it in Spanish. And I was like pointing at the disability sign and saying, estoy aquí, sí, pointing at the disability sign, sí. And then we were all just kind of looking at each other confused, and I think that kind of drew a crowd. And then some guy who spoke both English and Spanish came over and yelled at me and goes, this line is for disability people. And I was like, yeah, that's me. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry, what's your disability? And I was like, I'm autistic, I don't know the word for that in Spanish. And he was like, oh. And then he tells the employees, and they were like, oh, and then they let me through. And like the situation was nobody's fault, no hard feelings. Like I couldn't get my point across in Spanish. I was also overstimulated. They didn't know what I was trying to say. But yeah, that did deter me from wanting to use disability services again, because that whole situation was so overstimulating that like I don't know if it was worth it. I just got the coolest PR package. Mattel just sent me their new autistic Barbie. So let's open her up. I am so excited. I loved Barbie as a little kid, and I'm so excited to see autistic Barbie. Oh my gosh, they sent a whole Barbie themed sensory kit, and here she is. I didn't realize how emotional this would make me. Here is autistic Barbie. I'm gonna do a whole separate video about autistic Barbie. Let me show you guys what's in the sensory box. So we got cards, loops, whoa, awesome, a Barbie fidget spinner. What are these? Soothies. I've heard of these. I think you stick them to things. Oh my gosh, it's a popper like case. This is awesome, and it says Barbie on it. And what is this? The weighted pod for your body? I don't think I've seen this before. Oh, it's heavy. Let's see. Oh, it's like a weighted blanket. Awesome. This was such an exciting and emotional thing to open. Thank you. Stay tuned for more about Autistic Barbie. Let's talk about Autistic Barbie. When I heard that Mattel was coming out with an Autistic Barbie, I was a little concerned because autism is an invisible disability, and I was worried that it would be hard to portray in a doll. But I think they did a really, really amazing job, and they worked with the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, which is awesome. Like, they had autistic people working on this. She comes with an AAC device, which I think is one of the most important things about her, because we need that type of representation. And then she has the big chunky headphones and a fidget toy. And then also her eyes are slightly to the side. They're not straight on, to show like the struggles of eye contact, which is such a cool little detail. And then the last thing I want to say about her is that I'm really happy that they didn't choose a white, blonde hair, blue-eyed Barbie, because I think whiteness is so overrepresented in autism spaces that it's really important to show that autism affects everyone. I'm assuming that she is a person of color, and I think that's really, really important representation. I'll probably talk more about Autistic Barbie because this is such like a big moment in the autism space, but these are my like first initial thoughts. Like, I literally just opened her 20 minutes ago. I just watched a video of an autistic woman getting assaulted and dragged out of her car by ICE because she didn't comply
fast enough. Because she's autistic and she didn't understand what was going on when they swarmed her car and started screaming at her. And then as she's getting dragged away by her hands and feet, you can hear her screaming, "I'm autistic. It takes me a minute to understand. I was just trying to go to the doctors." This is what ICE is doing to people. They're kidnapping autistic people on their way to the doctors. And to all the bootlickers that are saying, just comply and they won't hurt you. Just comply and they won't kidnap you. They're not giving you an option to comply. They're kidnapping you before you have a minute to explain yourself. They're just going around assaulting and kidnapping anybody that has brown skin. And if you accidentally stand in their way, they'll take you too. Having a terrorist organization like ICE running around our streets and kidnapping our neighbors is dangerous for everyone, especially autistic people. Because apparently not complying fast enough makes you a criminal and worthy of getting assaulted and kidnapped.